Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Rob from Heroes Avenue. Happy Monday. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about Avengers EndGame and some news stories surrounding this movie. And we have some insane things to talk about too. This one particular story involving a guy watching Captain Marvel over 100 times. Absolutely nuts. But before we get into that, Avengers EndGame, of course, it's going to be the biggest news all week. It's coming out on Friday, but they're going to start showing screenings to fans on Thursday, and that's when I'm going to watch it. I'm watching Avengers Endgame at 8:15 p.m. right after work, heading to the movie theaters, and I will finally get to watch this movie. I've been waiting about a year to see. Obviously, Avengers Infinity War left us with a huge cliffhanger, and this is definitely a monumentous occasion for comic book movie fans. Even if you're not a fan of MCU movies in particular, it is a big event for the fandom. So in this video, we have some interesting things to talk about. So first news story off the bat, AMC adds a record number of round-the-clock screenings. And let me just read you a portion of this article from Screen Rant. It says, now just a few days before Avengers Endgame hits theaters officially, AMC is doing their part to try and meet the unprecedented demand. THR shared that 29 AMC locations in the United States will be open around the clock from Tuesday to Friday, while another 18 are scheduled to be open from Thursday to Saturday or Friday to Sunday, and an additional 17 will be open non-stop from Thursday to Sunday. The result of these movies will see those participating AMC locations include late night / very early morning showtimes for Avengers Endgame. And it's absolutely nuts. I know some people who took off work. Not me. I know people who took off work just to make sure they are going to be able to see this movie on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yes, that sounds absolutely insane, but that just shows the level of dedication that the MCU has been able to garner. Whether you are a fan of the MCU movies or not, that is quite a feat for Marvel Studios to accomplish, and I don't know if that's going to be able to be matched by a lot of other studios. It's just incredible. And I'm not saying I would ever do this. Maybe some of you guys are doing this. If you guys ain't ashamed at all and you want to let us know how many times you're watching it, drop it down in the comments below. If you guys are watching it at least 3 times this weekend, let me know. I'm curious. I'm generally curious. I'm going to be at least watching it twice. Going to be watching it with my cousins and my brother for the first Thursday night, and then at some point Saturday and Sunday I'm going to be watching it with my girlfriend because she has to work late and I couldn't wait for her. So I'm going to be watching it at least twice this weekend. Let me know how many times you guys plan to watch it. But this is crazy. So I think in my last video and a previous video, we talked about how the big number to hit, or the big staggering number that people are floating around now is, will Avengers Endgame end up hitting over $300 million domestic? That is a number that just seems unimaginable to ever hit. And given how this movie is going to be 3 hours long, it's going to be no intermission. Ticket prices are incredibly high now, and how many times are theaters going to be able to show this? Well, here's AMC trying to fill that demand, and that demand is super high. I remember when Darren was in Japan a few weeks ago now, he texted me in the morning, said Avengers Endgame tickets are on sale. I'm online trying to buy tickets, and it says there's an hour wait. So I woke up, luckily he was able to find a screening with just a 10-minute wait. So that's how I bought my tickets. I had a 10-minute wait, but a lot of other people who are trying to see this movie in IMAX or 3D in the biggest theater, the hour-long wait was real, because I was clicking on different theaters on my Fandango app and my Atom Tickets app to try to figure out what was the shortest wait time for the best showtime, and it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. I've never experienced anything like that, even for Star Wars: The Force Awakens. It was not like that at all. So those are the 2 biggest premieres in my recent memory that that have had this level of excitement. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. So round the clock showings. Again, I posed the question: do you guys think it's possible for this movie to hit $300 million domestic? A lot of you guys said no previously, but given this recent news, let me know if you guys want to change your answers in the comments below. Personally, it's it's crazy that I'm thinking about $300 million domestic opening weekend. I think it won't hit it, but then again, I'm no expert and I'm proven wrong all the time. So I'm going to guess no. I'm going to stick to my guns and say 275. Yeah, that's my prediction. Let me know yours in the comments down below. But yeah, let's get to this news story about the craziest news story we're going to talk about today, and that is Captain Marvel fan breaks record for watching the film over 100 times. And this is absolutely nuts. So let me read you a portion of the article from InsideTheMagic.net. So it just says, yes, you read that right, 116 times, which totals to more than 14,000 minutes of Captain Marvel viewing time. According to The Independent, Steve Ruppel, the super fan and record breaker, shut himself away in a multiplex and did the deed. Ruppel reportedly had only needed to watch the movie at least 104 times since it was released on March 7th to break the previous record, but he instead decided to make it 116 times so he can make it to the Guinness Book of World Records. Now, from reading the article, it didn't seem like he was particularly the biggest Captain Marvel fan. It looks like he chose this movie, and obviously he looks like he's a fan of movies, probably a fan of all the Marvel movies, but it looks like he chose this movie to beat the record. And it doesn't seem like he's a Captain Marvel super fan at all, but how insane is that? He watched Captain Marvel 116 times. Now, I'm a huge, incredibly huge DC Comics fan, and therefore I am a huge DCEU fan. Been one of the biggest defenders of all the movies since day one, and I can't imagine watching my favorite movie, which is Man of Steel, out of the DCU. I can't even imagine watching it over 100 times in such a short time frame. Movies I don't think were meant to be watched like that, and this guy did it with a mediocre film in Captain Marvel over 100 times. Now, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed Captain Marvel for what it was. I didn't have the hugest expectations for it, and I didn't go in there with a critical eye, trying to break down everything and what have you. But it was an okay movie. I enjoyed it when I was in there, and then looking back on it, there were some decisions I really didn't like, and there were some decisions that I thought were fine. And Brie Larson, she was an okay performance, if okay to underwhelming, but the surrounding cast was cool. But 116 times for this film. Now, I want to ask you guys, your favorite movie, doesn't have to be comic book movie, your favorite movie of all time. Could you imagine watching it 116 times? Do you think that's something you can possibly do? Is that something you could do to beat a world record? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Again, my favorite superhero movie, it fluctuates, but right now, right now in the past few years, it's been Man of Steel. I'm not gonna lie, and I can't even imagine watching it 50 times in a row like that. I've watched it plenty of times, but this guy watched it in such a short time frame that it's mind-boggling. So let me know what you guys thought about that in the comments below, and let me know if you think you can watch your favorite movie that many times. And I'm not even saying that's this guy's favorite movie. It's really crazy to think about. All right, let's move on to the next topic. Don Cheadle / War Machine shuts down rumors and speculation about tension between Avengers cast and Brie Larson. Now, I didn't cover this at the time, but there have been rumors swirling around for months now that the Avengers cast is not pleased that Brie Larson is going to be the face of the Marvel Universe going forward. And obviously, Brie Larson stirred up a bunch of controversy before the release of Captain Marvel, given her I'm not going to say, I'm going to say more careless comments. She was kind of careless in how she delivered her comments, not necessarily careless in her beliefs, but she's careless in how she delivered some comments before the movie. I'm not going to defend her or attack her in that front. I just think she was very careless in how she delivered it, and she could have been a little bit more, she could have paid attention to how fans would have reacted to the words that she said, especially given the platform she's on. But there's been rumors that the Avengers cast is displeased with her, and there's been tensions behind the scene. And those rumors came to the forefront once again because I think there was an Entertainment Weekly interview that came out a few days ago in which it was what it looked to be very awkward situation between Brie Larson, Don Cheadle, and Chris Hemsworth as Thor. They were talking about her doing her own stunts, and she seemed very pretentious, and she seemed like she was really kind of baiting Chris Hemsworth, and Chris Hemsworth seemed to be throwing some shade at her. But so a lot of people took that as, the tension is real. People don't like Brie Larson. She's very unlikable, and that's been kind of the narrative between a lot of the fandom. Not the whole fandom. I'm not going to say the whole. I can't speak for everybody, obviously, but it's out there, and it's something that a lot of people believe in. But Don Cheadle went onto Twitter, and I'm just going to go ahead and read some of his tweets right here. He says, so someone says the real Jerome says, Don Cheadle literally got pissed when Brie elbowed him and even silently mouthed words. It all adds up. Jeremy Renner was uncomfortable, so was Don Cheadle, and even Thor seemed to intentionally trigger her. And then Don Cheadle responds to that tweet and says, "You kids are hilarious. ... Later on, goes to tweet. He says, the real Jerome says, I've tons of interviews, and it's reasonable to guess something's up, even if there isn't. And then Don Cheadle responds again, says, whoever you are, you're reading in. Take a break from your detective work. We're all good. Hope you enjoy the movie. Deuces. And then he tweets Brie Larson later, says, at Brie Larson, so many speculators tonight. Ma, see you tomorrow. Deuces, heart, and there it is. So again, I'm not one of those guys who's trying to fuel the fire and outrage, because there's enough outrage on the internet these days. I've been trying to take more of a positive look on all the situations I can these days, just because there's so much outrage these days, and it gets tiring sometimes, but it does make for interesting conversations. And here we see Don Cheadle. Obviously some people will speculate that, hey, he's just trying to keep the PR under control, and he's just trying to do his part in making sure that the situation doesn't get out of control. And you could say that, and but you could also say that, hey, maybe they're just playing the part. Hey, maybe there is some tension. They've been on set together for what? They filmed these two movies back to back, did plenty of reshoots, so maybe they're tired of each other. I don't know. Or maybe they just know each other enough to be acting like brothers and sisters and annoying each other. Because I have that relationship with some people as well at work. I will annoy the crap out of them, just because I know I can. Maybe that's the case. Maybe it isn't. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think there is some merit to the rumors that the Avengers cast dislike Brie Larson, or that there's tensions between Brie Larson and some of the Avengers cast members? Let me know what you guys think. Don Cheadle seems to clear it up here. Do you guys believe him? Let me know in the comments below. All right, let's move on to the next topic, and that has to do with a Rotten Tomatoes poll that recently showed that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is the most anticipated MCU movie coming in the next phase of the Marvel Universe. So I'm just going to go ahead and read some of the article right here. It says, while Marvel Studios is reluctant to officially announce any new movies beyond this year's Spider-Man Far From Home, there are already at least half a dozen films that we know to be on the way after Avengers EndGame. In a recent poll conducted by Rotten Tomatoes, fans voted Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 as the most anticipated of the lot. Site users were given a choice of 6 post-EndGame features and were allowed to vote for more than one. Taking the top spot is James Gunn's upcoming threequel with a score of 63%. Perhaps not a surprising result given the opportunity or the popularity of the first 2 films. Moreover, you can imagine that a lot of fans are still giddy from last month's announcement that Gunn has been reinstated as director after months of uncertainty. Meanwhile, taking a second with 48% each are Black Panther, Far From Home, and after that comes Black Widow with 40%, and then it's Eternals, and then Shang-Chi with 14 and 11%. So that's pretty interesting. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was the biggest surprise probably out of all the Marvel movies for me. I didn't expect that I would enjoy that movie that much. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I really enjoyed when I first watched it, but upon rewatches, I'm going to have to, if you dig back onto my channel, I gave it a really positive review, but, I'm going to have to turn that down a notch too, because, rewatching it, I didn't think as highly as I did before. But that's crazy. If I had to pick out of all of these, I gotta say Black Panther 2 would be my most anticipated. I love the soundtrack, love the actors for the most part, and I think Black Panther, out of all the movies, just had the most layers to it. It was most intriguing for me, for sure. So if I had to choose out of this poll, it would be Black Panther 2. But let me know what you guys would choose on this poll. What is your most anticipated movie following Avengers Endgame. We got Spider-Man, Black Widow, Black Panther 2, Eternals, and Shang-Chi to choose from. Let me know what you guys choose in the comment below. All right, that wraps it up for our main news stories for today. But I just want to end this video with one more question. You know, I asked you guys earlier how many times you guys think you're going to watch this movie. But what we haven't gotten to, and what I'd hope to do in the future for movies or event movies like this, is to figure out and get you guys on the record, who do you think is biting the dust in this upcoming movie? You know, write it down below, make it be known, because on our Sunday reading the comments video, we will go ahead and shout you guys out who are correct. You know, that it's safe to say that our reading the comments video on Sunday will be a spoilers talk video. So if you guys haven't seen the movie by Sunday, maybe don't watch our reading the comments video. But I definitely want to get some of you guys on the record and maybe shout you guys out. Whoever you are, if you guys are correct, let me know who you think is for reals biting the dust in this MCU movie. Now, it's very safe to say as well, maybe no one bites the dust. You know, it is a Marvel movie in which a lot of characters end up coming back to life. But you know, we're not gonna get into super detail about this. But I want to know what you guys think. Who's gonna die? Even if they come back to life later on, who is gonna die in this Endgame movie? Let me know your predictions down in the comment below. If you've seen it, don't cheat. Keep it spoiler free. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it if you give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to hit the notification bell for future videos, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.